Political shockwaves tonight after LA Mayor Karen Bass removes LA's Fire Chief Crowley. The mayor says the chief failed to staff up for the Palisades fire and refused to submit a report on the department's response to the inferno.
Conservative life on Mars, because we are living in strange times, in a decisive move, in a bold move. Los Angeles Mayor Karen Bass just finally dismissed Fire Chief Crowley following the catastrophic Palisades and Eaton wildfires last month. This decision has sparked widespread debate and underscores the necessity for good leadership that prioritizes operational readiness and accountability. Especially in a large city like ours. We're not a little microscopic town. We're like, the second or third largest city in the whole United States. And this time of year, we are prone to forest fires. So why were we not ready? That falls solely on the shoulders of the fire chief, as well as LADWP. We'll get to that later. So I firmly believe in this course of action of this woman being dismissed. Actually, I called for this early on. So let's just move into this. So just to give you a point, nearly 18,000 structures were completely burned to a crisp, and 30 precious lives are gone now. A major failure in leadership was the absence of approximately 1,000 firefighters who could have been kept on overtime during the initial outbreak to help quell this, but they were told to go home, despite knowing the high-risk situation that was brewing at the time. No pun intended. Adding to the concern, Chief Crowley has refused to conduct a post-incident report. Now, of course, this is like a post-mortem, so where you look at everything, look at where your pluses and minuses are, and figure out where you could do best at. Now, why would she not do this report? This kind of gives me less confidence in her ability to lead if she's not trying to figure out where else did they fail at, unless she already knows this and she's not saying anything. Now, Mayor Bass is under immense pressure to find out what happened and start getting accountability goes, as well as doing the cleanup and trying to rebuild. So this report would be extremely important, and Crowley's refusal in doing this report was just the nail in the coffin. It's not the only nail in the coffin. I think you got to look at the totality of what this woman has done, or what the fire chief has done, and what she has not done, and how she has prioritized things to make Karen Bass come up with this conclusion. Ignoring such crucial directives suggests that she may have something to hide. And that's the question I'm wondering. What does she have to hide, and why didn't she do this report, or does not want to participate in this report? It's clear that Bass did not take this decision lightly. I'm sure she sat on it a while, and not doing this report was just the last nail in the coffin. In an interview with the media, she just said the meeting with the fire chief was just very brief. She told her what was happening, and then it was over with. So I'm pretty sure that this was just the nail in the coffin. Now let's also talk about Chief Crowley. While the fires were raging, she was going on media interviews, doing all types of media interviews, and in these interviews she focused more on defending her position and instead of trying to direct resources in firefighting efforts. She emphasized how the mayor cut their staffing, they didn't have mechanics for equipment failures, and so forth. My question to that is, Why did you wait till now to bring this up? This is something that could have been brought up last year in the summer. You've been there that long. You've also known that the Palisades Reservoir has been empty since 2023, and you haven't done anything about that. I understand it's not totally your responsibility, but still, it's a water source. So it's indirectly a part of your department. And we'll get to LADWP in a minute here. So if you look at the totality, I just really question her sincerity on how much she was trying to do. Yes, she may have told the truth, but if you just kind of sit on it, hey, something's happening, and you sit on it, you're not really helping the cause out. Now, there's also been independent reports saying that several fire stations are in deplorable and dilapidated conditions, of which Crowley has not talked about. But yet, you have independent reporters, TikTok folks, running around visiting these places and showing you the horrible state of affairs these places are in. All in all, Crowley has failed to manage a severe crisis situation and did not ensure that the department or the city was adequately prepared for the fire season. The lack of proper, fire hydrant maintenance, she was actually trying to push that off further than the normal timely schedule. So now we have fire hydrants that have not been properly maintained or properly check to see what their status were they functional, or do they need help, etc., etc. The failure to implement a backup plan, again, for the Palisades Reservoir. Okay, it's empty. What are we going to use as a backup? Still, again, kind of shows this mismanagement under her leadership. So this is just a culmination of a lot of things with that department under her leadership. And even in some of her own interviews, she kind of prioritized DEI initiatives over just trying to safeguard lives and property. Reports suggest that the chief's tenure there was just trying to get DEI hired and not really doing a full fireman's job. So I'm glad that she's gone. Goodbye, good riddance. Now, the search begins for another chief. I would hope that we find somebody with the budgetary constraints of the same salary of what the ex-chief is leaving with, which is right around $400,000, which is actually more money than what Karen Bass makes, and is definitely less money than Los Angeles DWP CEO Janice Quinones makes at $750,000. We cannot have another person like that who basically also ran on a DEI initiative and sat on their thumbs the whole time. Okay, conservative life on Mars because we're living in strange times. Tell me what you think about this. Do you think that the termination of Kristen Crowley, fire chief, was warranted, or do you think I'm just blowing smoke? I'm happy she's gone. I'm looking for Janice Quinones to be the next head to roll.